Welcome everybody back to another edition of Dareth.us's series on Asheron'S Call. Again, we are starting today with the character Darethus on the Harvest Gain server. The plan for today is to show you what you need to do from the time you've created your character and brought him into the world until you have gotten ready for the facility hub quests. Now, the facility hub quests are you can start at level 10 using the facility hub gem, but it's recommended that you really don't start until 15. What we're going to do today is we're going to start off with what you need to do to at least get to the point to start out at level 10. So when you first log in, or when you first leave the academy in which you started, you, depending on what starting city you chose, for us it's Holtburg, you spawn right in front of a lifestone. So the best thing to do is automatically attune yourself to a lifestone by double clicking on it. As you see, the animation does what it is, but you can also stop, so as you are in the middle of doing it, if you just jump, it won't actually let you stop doing the animation. It will if you're lifestone recalling or doing a couple other things, but it won't when you're actually attuning to yourself to the lifestone. So when you first start in the actual world itself outside of the academy, the first thing you want to do is talk to this gentleman right here, Elcott. Elcott is the starting individual to really get you going. So when you first talk to him, he tells you about all the things that's going on. He tells you that you want to attune to the lifestone, and then he automatically levels you to level 6. And then he tells you that there's contracts that you can learn or you can do through here. The first contract you get is called Find the Barkeep. So Barkeep's actually really simple to find out. In Holtburg, you just go to the first building on the right, and you go in and you talk to this gentleman right here, Buckminster, and he says, hey, you found me, here's some XP, blah blah blah, and then you need to talk with the Path Warden. Now, this is what I normally do, okay? When you talk to Buck, he gets you to level 7. That's 2 quick levels since you started the game, okay? What I would do is go to this gentleman right here, Barkeep Wilhelmine, open up the ability to talk to him, and whoa, wait a minute, yep, here it is. Under gems, he gives you contracts. There's a contract for the facility hub, there's a contract for Holtburg Redoubt, and there's a contract for the Drudge Hideout. I would pick up these 3 contracts because they're quick, easy ways for you to actually start gaining experience, especially with the fact that you're only level 7 at this point, and in order to get to the facility hub, you have to be at least level 10. So after you talk to him, or after you talk to Buckminster and get the three contracts, open up your bag and start reading them. What that will do is, after you start reading them, they'll put 3 different quests in your contracts. So while you're finding the Path Warden is in progress, you have the Drudge Hideout, which is available, the Facility Hub, which is available, and the Holtburg Redoubt, which is available. Well, since we're on the Find the Pathfinder, here's the Pathfinder right here, right outside the door. So you just talk to him. He says, hey, Buckminster sent you, blah, 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 here's some XP. Well, one of the other things that you are capable of doing is this little token right here called the Path Warden token. You take this Path Warden token and you give it to him, and he gives you a key in return, which you can use to open up this chest. Now, this is one of the few chests in the game in which you can only use the key to open it. You cannot use lockpicking that I know of to do it. So what the great thing about each one of these items is that each one of these items has a spell on it that you can use while you're, for as long as you're wearing the armor. This little trinket right here actually gives you a buff that says Augmented Understanding. Increases experience by 4%. That helps a lot. Every little increase bonus you get helps. So what my suggestion is to take off everything that you were wearing. And yes, it's going to make you a little naked. A little bit, but not much. And put on each of the armor pieces that you're given. Now you can do the armor pieces, or you can do the robe. It's your choice. I choose the armor pieces because it gives you an increase to your total armor, which when you right click and look at yourself, it tells you what your head, chest, groin are at, your bicep, wrist, and hands, your thigh, shins, and foot, what your damage is. So when you are changing out what you're wearing, and you're only going to use the cloak, see your armor level, or your AL, is a lot smaller. And the only time it gets better is when you wear the gauntlets on top of it, but your own gauntlets only increase your hands. So let's go back to wearing the full armor, and let's start questing. So there's a couple of quests, like you said at the very beginning, that you can do, called the Drudge Hideout and the Facility Hub. Now here's a little disclaimer. If you are wanting to do this the easy way, the best thing you could do is get buffs, or use magical buffs through the buff bots of the server, depending on what server you're on. Now the highly populated servers on here is Frostfell and Darktide. Darktide is a PvP server, so all these individuals that are around here would actually have the ability to kill you on sight. Frostfell is a normal server, or what some people affectionately call a Care Bear server, depending on how you look at it, and they'll be able to help you. Well, because of the fact that we're not going to use any buff bots, and we're not using any other third-party programs, we're doing this just purely on what we're capable of doing. So the first dungeon that we have is called the Drudge Holdout, the Drudge Holdout in the Holtburg Redoubt. So what we're going to do is, when you read them, you read your quest, or you go to acpedia.org, or later on we're going to be putting this on the dareth.us website as part of the quests that are available. You can actually find the Drudge Hideout really close to Holtburg. It's just a little south of the city, off the road a little bit, and you can go in there and start questing. Now, just to give you a heads up, the Drudge Hideout is a little intense when you have no significant buffs higher than level 1 on. Okay? So let's put it like this. At level 7, the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your endurance is high enough to where you can actually take some hits without worrying about dying. The second thing you want to do is you want to go into your skills, and you want to train a skill called Mana Conversion. What Mana Conversion is a way for you to save on your mana. The higher your Mana Conversion is, the less mana you actually use on your spell as a whole. So you don't have to put much XP into it at the very beginning, but if you don't have Mana Conversion on your character, you will have to use a lot of mana potions or a lot of mana healing to be able to cast simple spells. Now, I normally keep my Mana Conversion high enough to where it's around the same levels as my highest level magic, but that's a lot of XP really quick. And since we're not even level 10 yet, the first thing you want to focus on is getting your health up to a point where you can actually be sustainable. So a little further south, up on a hill, is the the Holtburg Redoubt. Now, Holtburg Redoubt, the thing you want to realize with this is that there are 8 items in which you want to pick up. If you're using the ACpedia, there's a map on there that'll tell you exactly what where to pick up each one of the items and exactly what to do with them. Since I've done this multiple times, I essentially know where everything is. So we're just going to go through as quickly as possible and complete this dungeon so that you know what's going on. So when you first come in, the very first room you come into is where the candlestick is, and as you go through, I'll show you exactly where each one of the additional items are. Now, this room doesn't have any items in it that you need to pick up for the quest itself. The only reason why I do this room first is because you have this chest in here, which gives you the ability to pick up items. And the thing that you really need to worry about at the very beginning of the game is getting enough items on you that you can sell for loot purposes. Now, I come in here because when you come in here, you're going to have a guy that's following you. If you get to the back quick enough, he won't follow you into the room, which will allow you to turn around and kill him. So pyros is your currency in the game, and I try to pick up nothing over, nothing under 1,000 gold or 1,000 pyro in this room. Now, there's 2 things that you could possibly do here. You can jump down to the bottom, which is where the next item is at, or you can try and kill these dredges that are in here and gain more spells and other items and pyreal while you have the ability to. Because of the fact that you don't have any spells on you that are protecting you, you're going to need to kill these creatures quickly before you actually start looting items. Now, I always pick up these essences, depending on whatever the creature it is, because, one, they're 4,000 pyro each, and which makes it very quickly capable for you to actually pick up your spells, or pick up your gold for you to, or pyro for you to sell off. Plus, in addition to that, there's a skill called Summoning, which allows you to use those essences with additional items to actually be able to have a companion that helps you fight. Oh, crap. This might be something I'm going to die really quickly. So let's heal. Since I don't have any other healing things, the only thing I'm capable of using is the healing potions that I picked up from the academy. Now, there are other healing potions that you can purchase from the healing, or from a gentleman in the city. Well, it's not. There's another location that's just outside of the city where a healer is at. It's on the west side of Holtburg that you're capable of getting, where he'll heal you for, I believe it's 25 health per heal. So again, you're in the room that you come down from the room where you started at. There's a bull. Sometimes this dredge will kill you, sometimes, or will attack you. Sometimes he won't. It all depends on how things are set up. Ooh. So pyro. Couple low cost things. Now, to keep your items separate, this little bag right here is just a little sack. The quest items themselves, I like to put them in that sack to keep them separate from everything else, which will make things easier in the long run. Let's see how close we are to actually leveling. Okay, so we're about 7,500 experience from leveling. I normally don't quit leveling up my endurance until I hit a 50-point base. Right now we're at 45. Ooh, candy canes. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll definitely take that. Yeah, I'll take that. Okay. No, I'm good with that. Actually, no. Okay, so let's see. Protection self. Let's see if I can actually wear it. Take this off. Nope, my arcane lore isn't high enough just yet. Now, the creatures in here actually have a pretty decent respawn, so you got to be careful on where you're laying down to heal. Laying down or crouching does heal, does increase your health regenerations. You just have to be careful. Okay, so come back over here. Now see, most of the times, because of the way this game is, as a mage, when you're first fighting in a dungeon by yourself, you want to make sure that you're ready at all times to handle anything that attacks you. Because again, because of how high of a respawn there is in here, these things can actually, but you could actually pick up items and end up dying before you have a chance to really do anything. So if everything goes according to plan, which it looks like it's going to, by the time we actually finish this dungeon, we'll be at or close to level 10. Well, we'll be in 8 or 9 depending on how fast things go. So as you're seeing, you know, all the quest items are actually dropped. I think there's like 7 or 8 in total that you pick up. Actually, I believe there's 8, because with the ring, yep, you pick up the ring and you go here. And you're picking up the last 2 items here. I mean, no. Come on, let's kill him, Dad. You're going to have to be quick with the spamming of the buttons. You probably heard me doing it, spamming the buttons. You just don't want to hit the quick key for the button and waiting for the next time for you to cast. You want to. I always found it effective that if you're spamming the key to attack, you actually get your spells off quicker, which could be the moment of life and death for your character. This next area, before you get down to the section, you want to make sure that your health is at full. If you don't, you will die. See, as it looks right now, before we get down to the next section, we're only a little more than 1,000 experience away from level 9, which will help generously with that character dying only 142. Now, there's been many times I've played this game where I've literally had 1 XP left before I level, which is a pain in the ass. I can't ever allow myself to not log out with at least leveling if I'm actually that close. Okay, come up here, ready myself. Now this is going to be the pain in the ass because these guys spawn really quick. It's not so much that they spawn really quick, it's that the creatures above you, by the time you get to this point, have spawned, or have respawned at least. And they jump down to actually attack you, which means you're fighting the same creatures a few times each round. Go ahead and loot really quick. Yep. No, I don't want those. Pick up this item. Okay, that's the last item that you need. You'll have at least one or two more creatures drop down to attack you. Now, if you just notice the little sparkling things that occurred in the middle of my casting was fizzle. What a fizzle is that your spell actually didn't work, so it's like a misfire. Even though the drudges are capable of resisting your spells, sometimes you just don't have enough spell ability to make the spell go off. Well, now that we actually have created, picked up all the items, it's time to return to the Lifestone. Again, if you type /ls or /lifestone, it will return you to the Lifestone that you have attuned yourself to. Since we attuned ourselves to Holtburg, that's where we're going to go. By the end of this quest, you should be close to level 10, within anywhere between 15 and 20,000 experience away from level 10. So you go back to the area in which you picked up the quest. You go over to this gentleman by the name of Warser. Now, all the quest items have to go there. So what I normally do is on your keyboard keypad, to the right-hand side of your keyboard, hit the period button, which will give you a first-person view of the person you're looking at. Go back to the quest items that you have. There are 8 in total, and just start handing Warser each individual one. Each individual item you give, he gives you an amount of experience for. And within 4 items, you're already at you should be close to your next level. And he'll give you the directions to Cave of the Albury, or Cave of Allerby, but that means you're level 10. So with that being said, you're now capable and ready to go into the facility hub, and with our next video, we'll pick it up from there.